Hi, well, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about my final 2 days at Whiteacres. Now, I was on Pour 74, as you saw in the first part of the blog, and basically 74 on Pour often throws up some skimmers. Good area for skimmers, good area for small skimmers and things like that. I was just hoping to keep putting some small fish in the net, hopefully small skimmers, things like that, little roach, and hopefully catch sort of £5-6, which has been enough to win that section on a lot of occasions during the week. Now, the only danger with Porthies is a lot of anglers who go there, and if you're later in the week, they're not on the way to winning the festival. They haven't had the best draws in the first few days, or for whatever reason they haven't won the section or whatever. So they just going to try and win the lake. Now, you can win the lake with small fish, but a lot of people feel that the best way is to try and catch bream. That's never an approach I tend to use unless I've drawn a recognised bream peg. But in my section, I had at least 3 or 4 guys going for bream. Now, that was dangerous because if they caught some bream, I wasn't going to be able to beat them with small fish alone. So I had to have in the back of my mind the possibility that I might have to go searching for a bream if say, 1 or 2 people have caught them. Match started off, I chucked a feeder at 30 turns, and I caught some small roach, really small, 30 to the pound fish. Miss a load of bites, just really frustrating to be honest. And I probably caught £2 or £1.5 in, say, 3 hours. I kept trying the pole, not a single bite on the pole. And I know this sounds crazy, but I was probably doing really well with £1.5. It was fishing incredibly hard. Now, I fed on a long pole at 14 metres for the chance of a bream or a skimmer. And I thought, well, I'm probably first or second with this, what I've got at the moment, so why not have a look for a better fish? As I was there, I went out, big bit of worm, and I sat and I waited, and I saw a few bubbles coming up. I thought, there's definitely a bream in the peg. I waited a little bit longer, didn't catch one. Changed to 2 casters on the hook, got one. Now, when I hooked it, I thought it was about £1 or so. I thought, oh, that's a bonus, definitely doubling my weight. When it's come to the net, it's more like £5, and I've netted it. A £5 bream on a day where £2 or £3 was going to be brilliant. I couldn't believe my luck. I'd fished for it. I targeted it and I fished for it and I caught it, so I was really happy with that. I thought I might even get another one before the end. I caught a few more small fish though, never had a bite, and I was on my way to £7. Section win maybe? Unfortunately not. One of the guys who had sat there fishing for bream with baits like corn and big bits of worm, he'd had a big perch, 3 skimmers and a £5 bream. So he weighed £15 with his fish. I think maybe even had 4 big skimmers, sort of £2 a piece. Fair play to him, absolutely fair play. That's what he's gone there to do. Unfortunately, it pushed me back into second. So going into the final day, I had 2 wins and 2 seconds, and I was on Belingi. Now on Belingi, plenty of good pegs, one of the best carp lakes in the country, but plenty of real hard pegs. Unfortunately, I drew one of the hard pegs, peg 5 on Belingi. For those of you that know it, you'll know that I'm not lying. That is possibly one of the worst possible draws you could have on Belingi. So I was ever so disappointed because really felt that was my chance gone. But I was going to fish my hardest, absolutely. Peg 7, even though it hadn't thrown up a few fish during the week, recognised as probably the best peg in that section. I had Alan Scott on it. Now, those of you who know Alan, I'm sure most of you do, one of the best anglers in the world, on a better peg than me. I'm not fancying my chances too much, if I'm being honest, but we were going to have a good match. The result that Frankie was in my section, I had some good anglers, and I really thought, well, I'll be lucky to even get a top 3 here. What I've done is I've had to chase fish around. I've tried several things to catch a fish, and I've had 8 Carasio and 5 carp, or 6 carp, with about half an hour remaining. And then I've managed to go down the edge and I've put another 3 carp in my net in the final half an hour. Those 3 carp went about £17, which is a bit unlucky on Belingi. You can have 3 carp for £30 down the edge quite easily. But that total gave me £60, which I was really happy with. Alan fished a really nice tidy match, caught carp steady, had a 1 hour iffy spell, but caught carp steady all match. And he's weighed £79. I felt I was lucky really to even come that close, so well done to him. He won the section, but I was second. I was really pleased. I beat everybody else second. So 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and then a drop in a second from the final day. I was really happy with that. For me, that's a consistent week. If you can get 2 wins and 3 seconds in a week, obviously with a little bit of a rub here and there, easily could have turned that into 5 wins. I don't feel that the way I've fished would have turned that into 5 wins. I think I would have had to have maybe on Porth just gone all out, but had I have blown out, I wouldn't have come in the top 10, which is what I did. I finished 8th, which there was 135 anglers there. 8th out of 135, really can't complain at that. Top 10 in the festival. Always like to try and finish top 10. I've got, I only fish 2 festivals a year, and I'm really proud of my record in recent years with coming in top 10. So I'm happy that I've achieved consistency again, but I like to win festivals. That man, Steve Ringer, he's won the festival again. What a phenomenal angler he is. He's fished really consistently all week. He's had 4 wins and a second. Mark Fox fished well, and he's had 4 wins and a third, and he's come second. So, look, you don't win festivals off bad pegs. You don't win festivals if you don't get a little bit of a rub. But more importantly, you don't win festivals unless you fish fantastically well. So anyone who, in that top 10 has fished well all week to come in the top 10. So well done to all of them. Just before I go, I'm going to show you a few of the floats I've been using during the week that have really made a difference to me. Okay, the first one is my margin rig. So hopefully you'll be able to see this if the light isn't too bad. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the light's not great, is it? There we go. If I hold it up there, you can see it. That is a DuraPlus 6 in a 4/14. Now, I use that with a bulk, and all I do is that's for fishing down the edge. Margin fish are absolutely crucial in these festivals. If you can catch some margin fish in the last 30 minutes, that could be the difference between coming halfway and winning a section, or even winning the lake. So, a durable, strong float with a visible tip, heavy enough to set your bait, so you're fishing properly in that last 30 minutes is essential. So as you can see there, like I said before, those sorts of floats, there you go, you can see a bit better if I hold it there. Alright, 4/14, short, visible bristle there, that's what you need. So that's really important. That's one of my #1 rigs. In fact, on every single carp lake, I'll set this rig up, guaranteed, because I know I need to give myself a chance of catching those bonus fish down the edge. The next one is a 4/12 shanty. You've all seen a shanty before. There you go. Light's terrible, isn't it? There you go. Look, 4/14 shanty. So, or 4/12 shanty. What I do with this, I just string out some #10 shot. This is a catch everything rig. If you want to win at Whiteacres, you've got to make the most of the hardest times, right? And that's what I like to try and do. The 4/12 shanty is a nice strung out rig with a caster, with a maggot, catch a bit of everything. Keep putting something in the net during the hard times. Great tip for catching some fish. And the final float I use, I only really tend to use like 3 different types of float, is a PB/2. Okay, PB/2, this is a 0.6. 0.6, 0.4 covers a lot of depths at Whiteacres. I do them up to a gram usually, and down to 0.3. But this is for fishing in open water with either meat, corn, in the pellet festivals with pellet, on the bottom, catching everything. On Belinge on the last day, this 0.6, I kept starting lines up with a little bit of meat here, a little bit of hempen meat over here, ground bait and a few maggots over here. Started the line up, caught a fish. A visible bristle, I can see clearly, strong float, not going to let me down. That's the key with all my tackle. So those 3 floats covers 3 very key important parts for Whiteacres Festival. So that's it really. Had a great week, really consistent, really happy that I've managed to draw pegs that have given me a chance to be consistent. You have got to draw some pegs at Whiteacres. So, that's it for now. Got an exciting week ahead, got some things to do this week. You're looking at some interesting products for Europe. And then the Winter League semi-final at Lindome. Maver Midlands, they're looking like a good team to beat, all catching a few fish. But I'm not ruling our team out, Barnsley Blacks. We've got a very, very strong team for this weekend. Quaker, they'll be strong. Chambers Champs, they'll also be strong. What a fantastic semi we've got in prospect for next weekend. Check it out next week's blog. See who comes out on top. Cheers.